Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Traian Stoyanov, and we are continuing our cycle of interviews with the ambassadors of the European countries accredited here in Chisinau. And this time we are honored to talk to the Ambassador of Lithuania in the Republic of Moldova, Mr. Tadas.
Welcome, Mr. Valionis. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hello, thank you for having me.
The main topic of our discussion is Moldova's European integration. And first I would like to ask you about Lithuania. It has 20 years of experience as an EU member state. What are the recommendations for the Republic of Moldova, and what should our country pay attention to in this European accession process?
Well, I think the best recommendation it would be to get there as soon as possible. So the best thing that proved right for Lithuania, that we initially mobilized very quickly after declaring independence already, and even when we were told that it's not possible, we were working on the EU accession, on the EU membership. And as soon as we started negotiations, we finished negotiations in roughly 2 years' time. So we started in 2000, we finished in 2002, and we joined in 2004. So it was really fast process, and it proved worth it because our economy started growing very quickly. Our confidence in ourselves started growing very quickly. So the first recommendation would be to do negotiations well, to do it fast, and join it as soon as possible. The other recommendation would be not to expect too much from Europe, because in the end, European Union provides the framework. So you get the stability, you get the laws, but still all the reforms, all the hard work has to be done by citizens. In my case, Lithuanian. In your case, it would be Moldovan. So it is important to understand that Europe is not a free lunch, but it is a big opportunity.
Your Excellency, what are the areas in need of reform in Moldova, and what recommendations, does Lithuania have?
Well, the whole European integration process is about becoming like us. So the whole thing is, if Moldova wants to be, full member of the EU, it has to comply fully with the standards of the EU, and this accession process is about complying with those standards. Initial conditions to start the negotiations were put in front of Moldova a while ago. Moldova complied. Now we are starting the negotiations. In the autumn, probably we will start screening process. So European Union together with Moldova will look at everything and all your legal basis and see what needs to be changed, and then we will start negotiating about the details. I mean, it's obvious from, for an outsider, I'm here almost 2 years, it's obvious that socioeconomic sphere needs big reforms, because Europe is about the people, so it's for people and about the people. So you need to do a lot there. You need a lot of economic reforms, because people cannot prosper when economy is not prospering. So everything is linked to the economy. I mean, you would not have good medical care, social care, education if nobody would pay taxes. So you need a good business environment to be able to lift it. Of course, energy sector. Moldova in a few last years, due to the war and due to the energy crisis, did a lot, but still you need to do more. And a special opportunity, I think, it's in a green energy, because all Europe now is changing. So all our energy sector is moving green. So Moldova in this space does not need necessarily to catch up, but it can immediately go to the best thing without transition. So you can just get the best technologies like everybody who is reforming. So in some cases you can do it even faster. And of course, justice sector. So without proper justice sector, you cannot have a prosperous economy. You cannot have democracy, freedom. You cannot have confidence of your peoples into Moldovan state. So it is very important to have functional, just justice sector.
Your Excellency, I would like to ask you about an essential issue in the accession process, the communication. How should the state communicate with its citizens so that the latter understand the process and the importance of EU membership as the only solution for country development?
Communication is very closely linked to participation. So you cannot have a participation of your citizens in any process of your state without proper communication. So I think it is very important. It is very important that society has an opportunity to understand what is happening. Then it has the opportunity to trust the state when it understands what is happening. And then it has a possibility to participate, voice its concerns or needs for the state and even for the EU in some cases directly. So it is very important and crucial part of the process. But you also have to, as journalists, to understand what is happening. You have to be aware. You have to also educate yourself a lot.
Yes, about a very important role in this process, I want to ask you about media. What is the role of media in all this process?
Very important role of media, like in all political processes. So you are the fourth power. So media is the one that carries on. You will have changing parliaments. You have changing presidents in this succession process. But media, will carry on. So you will have to be critical in some cases. In some cases, you will have to be supportive, informative. You will have to keep your standards high as well, because media also has to comply with European standards. You cannot falsify the information. You have to be truthful. And then citizens would trust you. They would be able to trust media, also the country, the state, and the integration process. Yes.
I would like to ask you more about what are Lithuania's priority areas of support for Moldova in the next 2 years, and what processes will you support?
Well, Moldova at the moment has very much support. Sometimes it is really even hard to coordinate with colleagues who is doing what. And I see sometimes for Moldovan friends it is very difficult to pick the best practices. But also in this you have a huge opportunity. You can scan the Europe and pick the best thing you like, and probably you will have the help to implement it. Well, Lithuania works in several dimensions. In one, we do our things bilaterally, so usually it is smaller projects. Like the last things we did, we helped you to prepare the law on insurance of medical mistakes, so that doctors would not be afraid to treat patients and would not go to jail if they make mistakes, so that patients would be recompensated by this insurance scheme without harming doctors, because if they are afraid to treat us, well, we are in trouble. Also, I see a lot of Lithuanian medical specialists in rural even areas. They help to establish for Moldova protocols of treating specific disease. So we have some things established ourselves. We have some things taken from Europe. Medical care is quite strict science sometimes, so you need to do A, B, C, D. So we help to establish those protocols in heart diseases, in strokes treatment, and that have a direct impact. We also participate in European projects. For example, Lithuanian police now is helping Moldova to establish and use DNA database. This project was started before us, so countries like Netherlands, they brought you the equipment. Now we are doing the training and implementation of this database. Also, together with NATO, we do some trainings in security sector. We are helping to train you non-commissioned officers, so this low-level military officers. Then what else? I would emphasize also bilaterally that we help you in environment protection. In Lithuania, we have established very good system of returning bottles, all packages to the machines, and you get reimbursed. And it doesn't cost anything to the state, basically. So we are trying to help you implement it also in Moldova. We are in your middle stage of this project. We're also trying to help you with recycling. We might bring some people from Moldova to check how we do recycling, this field, so that in environmentally friendly way. Of course, in small projects, we do help you with to fight disinformation. We also help your border guards and so on. They could carry on. So specifically to say what we will do in next 2 years, it's hard to say. We will join when probably we will join when European projects will start. We will do environment protection, we will do disinformation, but we will be joining big European projects as well.
Your Excellency, it is clear that Lithuania is an example of success for us, for the Republic of Moldova. But I would like to ask you about Lithuania's national elements. With what elements has Lithuania succeeded in making a name for itself in European family, and has accession lost the country's identity, for example? I'm asking this because there is a rumor that countries, they lose their identity with European integration. How can the opposite be proved?
I could say that our identity was strengthened by joining the EU. So it was huge opportunities for us. It helped us to realize what place we are in Europe, what we can do. It opened up a lot of opportunities for us to be successful. So starting from young people to study, then for businessmen to do businesses or even invest or accept investors in the EU. So it opened up a lot of opportunities. We still keep our language. We still keep our national traditions. You can do biotech during the day and eat mamalig in the evening. It doesn't harm your identity if you are successful. So I think Moldova could be very successful European country, and basically when you speak about the identity, so you have successful and rich identity, and then closed and poor identity. So of course you could be locked in your borders and sing national songs and eat national food, but I don't think young people would agree with that identity. You can have both of those worlds.
Mr. Ambassador, looks like you feel yourself very comfortable here in Chisinau. I would like to ask you, what is Moldova for you, and what do you associate it with?
For me personally, for my family, it's a lot of sun. When we came here in the summer, it's a lots of sun. Beautiful kitchen. We like it very much, and of course wine. So I think you could go with those things to Europe
like
and be very
national
successful.
element.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You could be successful here. So also look at the guests. You know, I have a lot of guests from Vilnius. What people like and what they come out of Moldova. You know, what they pack as a gifts back home. And you could do a lot more in tourism field, because everybody who comes to me, they say it's a lot better than expected. So I think Moldova has a lot of opportunities in the future. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Chisinau, our capital. Do you have maybe favorite places here? What do you like the most here in Chisinau?
Well, for me, it was a surprise to see dancing people in the parks.
Wow.
So we don't have that in Lithuania. So that was interesting. Here in Chisinau, I also saw it in Belts during the European days. So it's it's very open society, and of course the city is very green. It's very beautiful in summer. Well, parks, yes, parks. You have a beautiful park culture. I think we have a lot more parks than in Vilnius. That's what I might miss when I go back to my capital at one point. Yeah, that's.
It's great to hear that. In conclusion, I would like to talk one more time about the benefits of European integration for our country, and I mean the economy sector, and I would like to ask you about the life quality. How it's in Lithuania in 20 years, this life quality growth, you feel it?
Yes, of course. And when we declared independence 30 years ago, our starting positions were roughly the same. We are of the same size, roughly. We are roughly of the same history. We are roughly of the same population. We were roughly of the same economy. And now Lithuanian GDP is 5 times bigger than Moldovan. So I think it's a huge difference. For example, if you take pensions, so I think average pension now is 660 euros. Average salary is well above 2,000 euros. So it's a huge difference. And if you would go, to check the quality of the roads, quality of the schools, quality of medical care, I think there is a big difference.
How about security? Which are the main advantages of EU integration?
Security, I think, improved a lot, although European Union is not directly military organization. So we are like club of democratic nations. This now is changing. European Union is starting to invest more in security, because we saw what is happening in Ukraine, and we need to prepare for really bad things in the future. I also would like to emphasize that this security aspect in last years also very strengthened our identity. Suddenly people, we are like Moldovans, we are very critical of whatever government does. So we criticize, we change governments every few years during parliament elections. But this time people just realize, we have so much to lose. And everybody understood that, starting from big business, ending with pensioners.
I agree.
So yes, this aspect is important in all ways. So I think we will be moving into the direction of improving our security. Lithuania now is discussing about spending 4% of our GDP on defense. So it will be among the biggest budgets in Europe and in NATO.
There is so many advantages, but also we have a lot of work to do. and we appreciate your support and your help. And thank you one more time for this dialogue. We wish you good luck, and we appreciate all you do for Republic of Moldova and for our European way. Thank you very much.
To be here. Wish you all the best, all the success. Yeah, you will need that.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had here the Ambassador of Lithuania here in the studio. We discussed with Mr. Tadas Valionis about the European pathway of the Republic of Moldova, about the advantages of joining the EU. We thank him once again and see you next time.